American pickup trucks have never been more powerful, more luxurious, or more expensive. With average prices now crossing the $50,000 barrier, buyers expect reliability that matches the premium price tags. But mechanics across the country are raising alarm bells about specific models that are financially destroying their owners through catastrophic failures that manufacturers won't acknowledge. These aren't just minor inconveniences, they're wallet-emptying nightmares that have created entire communities of frustrated owners. The dreaded hemi-tick that signals engine death. The collapsed lifters that spread metal shavings through oil systems. The spark plugs that fire out of cylinder heads like bullets. And the emission systems that force $15,000 repairs on trucks barely past their warranty period. What's most disturbing isn't just that these problems exist, it's that manufacturers knew about them and kept selling the same flawed designs for years. In repair shops from coast to coast, mechanics can instantly identify these mechanical disasters by sound alone, often delivering the bad news before they even pop the hood. I already know what's wrong with your truck, and it's going to be expensive. The truth about these failing trucks has been hidden behind marketing campaigns and temporary warranty extensions that expire just before the problems typically appear. Owners who trusted these brands are now facing repair bills that exceed the value of their vehicles, turning what should be dependable workhorses into financial liabilities. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal the 5 pickup trucks mechanics explicitly warn against, the catastrophic flaws destroying engines and transmissions, and why these same problems keep appearing year after year despite manufacturer promises of improved reliability. This isn't speculation or isolated incidents. It's documented evidence from thousands of repair records, class action lawsuits, and the mechanics who've built entire careers fixing these specific failures. The companies behind these trucks won't tell you the truth, but the repair bills don't lie. And understanding which models to avoid could save you from a $15,000 mistake that leaves you stranded when you need your truck most. Number 5. Chevrolet Silverado 1500. 2005 to 2015. Back in the mid-2000s, if you were the kind of man who wanted a truck that looked tough, pulled heavy, and had that deep V8 rumble, chances are the Chevrolet Silverado 1500 with the 5.3-liter small block caught your eye. It was marketed as the everyman's pickup, the truck for hard-working ranchers, contractors, and anyone who needed a reliable daily driver that could haul hay one day and tow a boat the next. The bow tie badge carried weight, and in towns across America, the Silverado was as common as a pair of dusty work boots. But beneath that reputation and the chrome grille was a hidden issue that turned ownership from pride into punishment. From 2005 through 2015, these trucks carried one of General Motors' most notorious mechanical gambles, the active fuel management system. What sounded brilliant on paper turned into one of the most expensive nightmares a truck owner could face. General Motors' active fuel management aimed to save fuel by shutting down cylinders during light loads, but weak hydraulic lifters collapsed and destroyed camshafts. Instead of innovation, it produced the dreaded tick-tick-tick under the hood, a sound signaling costly, wallet-draining repairs. Owners reported that once the lifters began to fail, the engine lost power, stumbled on acceleration, and often triggered a check engine light. When scanned, the codes revealed misfires, uneven compression, or outright cylinder deactivation failures. What made this worse was the secondary damage. Once a lifter collapses, it sheds metal shavings into the oil, circulating tiny razors through the block. Cam lobes get scarred, bearings get chewed up, and soon the entire engine is compromised. Many owners walked into a dealership thinking they needed a simple tune-up and walked out staring at a repair bill north of $7,000. And if the failure was ignored too long, a full engine replacement could cost over $15,000, a figure that turned a family truck into a financial anchor. Silverado owners also faced relentless oil consumption nightmares, with General Motors' flawed design letting oil slip past piston rings. Many trucks burned a quart every 1,000 miles, forcing drivers to haul spare oil like cargo. Engines sometimes seized from running dry, while dealerships offered weak fixes like oil pan deflectors or software updates that solved little. Frustrated owners turned to lawsuits and forums, while independent mechanics built entire businesses disabling active fuel management permanently, though such modifications risked voided warranties and fresh complications. To be fair, not every Silverado from these years failed early. Some owners babied their trucks with meticulous oil changes and careful driving, stretching mileage past 150,000 before the problems began. But enough did fail that the reputation of the 2005 to 2015 Silverado 1500 with the 5.3-liter 5.8 took a massive hit. Consumer Reports gave the 2005 model a reliability score of just 40 out of 100, compared to 85 for a Toyota Corolla of the same year. The Chevrolet Silverado once symbolized trust and grit, relied on by farmers, fathers, and workers alike. Instead, lifter failures, misfires, oil burning, and massive repair costs drove loyal owners into Ford or Ram trucks, feeling betrayed by the bow tie badge. Today, mechanics advise buyers to avoid those model years unless they come with full service history and proof that the active fuel management system has been deleted or upgraded. Even then, it's a gamble. The smart move is to step forward into the newer generations that ditch the old system for stronger designs. Number 4. Ram 1500, 2013 to 2020. There's a certain kind of pride that comes with owning a Ram 1500. The bold grille, the muscular stance, and the thunderous roar of the 5.7-liter Hemi V8 all scream American power. For decades, the Hemi name carried legendary status. It was the engine of drag strips, muscle cars, and tough work trucks. Buyers believed they were getting not just a pickup, but a piece of automotive history. Yet behind that reputation lurked one of the most notorious mechanical headaches of the modern era. Between 2013 and 2020, countless Ram owners discovered that the Hemi was no longer the hero it claimed to be. Instead, it became a source of endless frustration, mounting repair bills, and a noise so dreaded it was given its own name, the Hemi tick. The dreaded Hemi tick signaled lifters and camshafts grinding apart. What began as a faint clicking grew into engine death, spreading metal debris throughout the oil system. Repairs ran into thousands, and full replacements soared past $15,000, leaving many owners financially stranded. The story doesn't stop with lifters. Exhaust manifold bolts on these Hemi engines are infamous for snapping. When that happens, hot exhaust gases escape, creating a harsh tractor-like sound and even melting nearby components. Replacing manifolds can cost $2,000 to $3,000 because of the special alloys and the labor required. Add to that the notorious 8-speed automatic transmission that many Rams carried during those years. On paper, this gearbox promised smooth shifting and better fuel economy. In reality, owners complained of hesitation, hard shifts, and complete failures. A transmission rebuild ranges from $5,000 to $8,000, and even then, some units broke again within short mileage. Oil leaks plagued Ram owners relentlessly, with valve cover gaskets and oil pan seals dripping onto driveways, lowering oil levels and staining concrete. Simple in theory, gasket repairs ballooned into $1,000 jobs thanks to labor-heavy designs. Chrysler, later Stellantis, insisted on pushing the multiple displacement system, a cylinder deactivation technology meant to save fuel but notorious for stressing an already fragile valve train. Mechanics often advised disabling the system to preserve engines, though doing so carried warranty risks and potential long-term complications. The fallout was enormous. Consumer Reports gave the 2013 Ram 1500 an abysmal reliability score of 15 out of 100. To put that in perspective, many compact cars from the 1980s scored higher. Online communities sprang up not to celebrate the truck, but to commiserate. Entire Facebook groups dedicated to Hemi-Tick horror stories gained tens of thousands of members. Forums filled with pictures of shredded camshafts and videos of engines knocking like a hammer against steel. It was a fraternity of frustrated owners bound together by broken trucks. Ram finally surrendered after years of denial. In 2024, the company ended the Hemi 5.8, replacing it with turbocharged Hurricane 6 cylinders, officially for efficiency. But owners knew reliability failures forced the legendary engine's demise. For the American truck owner, this was a hard pill to swallow. Many had grown up idolizing the Hemi name, connecting it with brute strength and dependability. They wanted to believe that their Ram 1500 could deliver decades of service. Instead, they found themselves listening for the dreaded tick every time they turned the key. Today, when mechanics see one of these trucks roll into the bay, many shake their heads, already anticipating the conversation with the owner. A conversation that starts with, "I have bad news," and ends with a quote that makes knees buckle. Number 3. Ford F-150. 2004 to 2010. When people talk about the most disappointing engines in truck history, the 5.4-liter Triton V8 from the Ford F-150 almost always comes up in conversation. During the years between 2004 and 2010, Ford put this power plant under the hood of hundreds of thousands of their best-selling pickups. On paper, it looked like a marvel. A modular engine designed with flexibility in mind, meant to be installed across multiple vehicle lines and adapted for both work duty and family hauling. It promised strength, efficiency for its size, and the kind of durability that would make it worthy of the Ford name. Yet what customers ended up with was one of the most notorious mechanical nightmares ever built by an American automaker. The Triton earned such a bad reputation that many seasoned mechanics groan the moment they hear a customer say the words 5.4. The Triton's weakest link was its spark plug design. Thin aluminum threads failed catastrophically, allowing plugs to shoot out of cylinder heads like bullets, destroying threads and sometimes punching holes in hoods. Repairs demanded costly thread inserts and specialized tools, with bills climbing into thousands of dollars. But the spark plug fiasco was only the beginning. Timing chain issues plagued this generation of Tritons. Chains stretched far earlier than expected, throwing off timing, damaging valves, and sometimes breaking completely. When that happened, the engine faced catastrophic destruction. Replacing a full timing set often cost between $4,000 and $6,000, assuming the valves hadn't been destroyed. Add valve damage and suddenly the bill approached $10,000 or more. Cam phasers, which were part of the variable valve timing system, rattled like jackhammers at idle. Many owners compared the sound to a diesel engine clattering away, except it was coming from a gasoline truck that should have been running smooth. Ignition coils added another level of frustration. They burned out one after another, leaving owners stranded or limping home on reduced power. At $200 to $400 per coil, and with 8 coils under the hood, it was like feeding money into a slot machine that never paid out. Oil leaks were another constant battle. Gaskets, seals, and valve covers wept relentlessly, and cooling system failures often led to overheating. Worse still, many spark plugs in these engines fused themselves into the cylinder heads over time, breaking into pieces when mechanics tried to remove them. This required hours of labor and sometimes complete head replacement. What made it all unbearable was Ford's persistence. The company knew about these problems early on. Complaints poured in, Lawsuits followed, and yet the engine remained in production for years. To customers, it felt like betrayal. They had trusted America's best-selling truck brand, and instead of strength and security, they were left with fear every time they turned the key. Some owners gave up entirely, parking their trucks in driveways and walking away because repairs exceeded the value of the vehicle. Stories spread of F-150s sitting abandoned behind barns and shops, too expensive to fix and too unreliable to sell. Ford eventually moved away from the Triton, learning lessons the hard way, but the scars remain in thousands of stranded trucks and disappointed owners. The downfall of the Triton leaves us with a truth no truck buyer can ignore. Even the king of sales can produce a lemon. Number 2. GMC Sierra 1500, 2007 to 2016. At first glance, the GMC Sierra 1500 from the late 2000s and early 2010s appeared to be the perfect choice for buyers who wanted refinement with their muscle. It was marketed as the more polished cousin of the Chevrolet Silverado, offering a slightly upscale feel, chrome accents, and interiors that looked more like a comfortable family vehicle than a bare-bones workhorse. For many truck owners, it felt like a way to stand apart while still enjoying the same dependable backbone as the Silverado line. Yet behind that sleek exterior and under the hood of models built between 2007 and 2016 sat an engine system that caused headaches, drained wallets, and forced loyal owners to part ways with their trucks earlier than expected. That problem was General Motors' much-hyped active fuel management system, a design meant to save gas, but one that instead ruined engines from the inside out. Active fuel management promised efficiency by deactivating cylinders during highway cruising, but weak hydraulic lifters collapsed, damaging camshafts and spreading metal debris throughout the engine. Sierra owners faced rough running, constant misfires, and the dreaded ticking noise that grew louder with every passing mile. When those lifters failed, they didn't simply stop working. They shed tiny shards of metal into the engine oil, which then circulated through bearings, journals, and vital internal parts. A small failure quickly became a chain reaction of destruction. Mechanics across the country saw the same scenario play out over and over again. A Sierra rolls in with a simple complaint of a ticking noise, and the diagnosis escalates into thousands of dollars in repairs. Replacing lifters and a camshaft typically cost anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000, depending on labor and location. If the damage spread deeper, requiring a total engine replacement, the cost often soared beyond $15,000, a figure that left many owners stunned and defeated. Oil consumption issues turned Sierra ownership into a constant burden. Active fuel management forced excess oil past piston rings, leaving owners adding a quart every 1,000 miles just to survive. Engines burned oil so quickly they failed emissions tests, embarrassing for trucks marketed as strong and refined. General Motors tried releasing software updates in tiny oil pan deflectors, but these quick fixes solved nothing. Warranties expired, repairs mounted, and frustrated owners faced the harsh reality of trucks that consumed oil endlessly without relief. Another cruel twist was that many owners thought choosing the GMC badge would shield them from the issues tied to the Chevrolet Silverado. After all, Sierra models were marketed as premium, a cut above the standard work truck. Instead, they inherited every one of the Silverado's flaws, sometimes compounded by higher repair costs due to pricier trim and parts. It was a betrayal for buyers who had paid more up front, expecting longevity and quality, only to discover that they had purchased a ticking time bomb under the hood. The Sierra's troubles sparked lawsuits, viral complaints, and endless mechanic warnings. Owners faced two grim choices: endure active fuel management failures and massive repairs, or disable the system entirely, risking voided warranties and fresh electronic issues. Either path meant frustration frustration. To their credit, General Motors eventually revised the system in newer models released after 2016. Those later trucks featured improvements that made the technology more reliable, and many Sierra owners today have no complaints. But the damage to reputation was already done. The years between 2007 and 2016 left thousands of drivers stranded, thousands more financially drained, and a legacy of distrust that lingers in used truck lots across America. Even now, when shoppers spot a Sierra from that period priced unusually low, experienced buyers know to raise an eyebrow. A deal that looks too good to be true often hides an engine on the verge of collapse. Number 1. Nissan Titan XD Diesel, 2016 to 2019. There are times in automotive history when a bold gamble turns into a legendary success, and there are other times when that gamble crashes so hard it leaves a crater in the brand's reputation. The Nissan Titan XD, with the Cummins 5.0-liter diesel engine produced between 2016 and 2019, falls firmly into that second category. On paper, it was supposed to be the perfect marriage. Nissan's big half-ton plus pickup fitted with a smaller version of the legendary Cummins diesel. Advertisements promised the best of both worlds: a truck with the refinement of a light-duty pickup and the pulling power of a heavy-duty workhorse. Buyers imagined themselves towing horse trailers, hauling heavy equipment, or cruising highways with the confidence that only a diesel engine could inspire. Yet reality unfolded in a much darker way. The Titan XD diesel became a symbol of failure, with problems so widespread and expensive that even experienced diesel mechanics shook their heads in disbelief. The Cummins 5.0-liter in the Titan XD was poorly adapted from European standards, saddled with failing emissions equipment, clogged exhaust gas recirculation valves, faulty diesel exhaust fluid systems, and soot-choked filters, often forcing trucks into dangerous limp mode on highways and remote locations. Turbocharger failures were another nightmare. Many owners reported turbo seizing or even shattering before the odometer hit 80,000 miles. When a turbo let go, it wasn't just a matter of replacing one part. Metal fragments scattered through intake and exhaust paths, sometimes damaging intercoolers and exhaust systems along the way. A single replacement turbo cost $4,000, and when combined with labor, the repair bill ballooned even higher. Add that to the common $8,000 price tag for a complete emission system overhaul, and suddenly owners were staring at repair estimates of $12,000 to $15,000, often exceeding 25% of the truck's original purchase price. The misery deepened with sensor failures. Nitrogen oxide sensors, crucial to the emission system, carried a replacement cost of over $2,000 each. When one failed, the truck often refused to operate correctly until it was replaced, stranding drivers and forcing them to wait on expensive parts. Cooling system leaks added another layer of frustration. Radiators, hoses, and seals developed weak spots that left coolant bleeding onto the pavement. Drivers found themselves topping off fluids just to make it to work, and more than a few reported being stranded roadside with steam pouring from under the hood. The Titan XD diesel baffled mechanics with scarce parts and poor dealer support. Owners spent thousands repeatedly on unresolved issues, and when Nissan discontinued the oddball 5.0-liter engine after just 3 years of production, resale values collapsed completely, leaving thousands of owners with unsupported orphan trucks. The emotional toll cannot be understated. Many buyers had been loyal Nissan owners who wanted to support a brand willing to challenge the dominance of Ford, Chevrolet, and Ram. They expected the Cummins badge to guarantee dependability. Instead, they were left with trucks that sat in repair bays more than on job sites. Families planning cross-country trips canceled vacations because their Titan XD was too unreliable. Contractors who depended on their trucks to haul tools and trailers found themselves renting vehicles just just to keep working. The financial and emotional strain drove many owners to dump their trucks at a loss simply to escape the cycle of breakdowns. By the time production ended in 2019, the Titan XD diesel experiment had become one of the most notorious failures in the pickup market. Resale values cratered, forums lit up with angry testimonies, and the truck's reputation was beyond saving. Even now, mechanics warn used truck shoppers to steer clear of any Titan with the 5.0-liter Cummins under the hood. While the gasoline versions of the Titan were far more reliable, the diesel variant is remembered as a financial trap, a truck that promised strength but delivered endless frustration. The lesson for buyers. As we close this countdown, the Nissan Titan XD diesel stands as the ultimate warning. A badge, even one as respected as Cummins, doesn't guarantee reliability when poor adaptation and rushed engineering are at play. The lesson here is simple. Don't fall for promises on paper alone. Look deeper, research carefully, and always learn from the hard-earned mistakes of past owners. Because in the world of trucks, making the wrong choice can cost more than just money. It can cost your confidence on the road, your trust in a brand, and your peace of mind every time you turn the key. Now you know the 5 trucks owners are dumping in 2025 and why avoiding them can save you thousands. If this breakdown helped, hit like and share it with a friend who's thinking